Hello friends, so welcome back to the AngularJs tutorials. In previous tutorial we had discussed about filters, but I had discussed upper case filter and lower case filter. There are still many filters. There are some built-in filters. There are some custom filters that we write according to our requirement, that on what basis we want to filter any particular data, any particular result. But before that, I was thinking to discuss very important topic in AngularJS, so that we can apply filters on them, and that will be better to use as compared to applying filters on simple variables and strings. So in this tutorial we are going to discuss that, and that the topic is objects. What is objects in AngularJS, and how objects are created, what are the types of objects, and how objects are useful in AngularJS. So for that, let us first paste our Google API to link our HTML page to Google angular.min.js. Let us define our parent directive equals to my app. Let us define one div in which will contain our controller. Okay, so now body part is ready for our UI according to my controller, that is controller 1, and only one controller anyways I'm going to use. One script tag we will define, in which we will write the scripts as always we have been doing, where app equals to my app, name of the parent directive, and then app dot controller my controller, that is the name of the controller. We will pass here one function we'll have to define, and let us put $scope because we are going to use $scope only, no root scope right now because we have only one controller. So what is object in an AngularJS? First of all, let me show you what variable definition is. Var1, this is our first variable. So even if we put some value, any string, I am AngularJS, any string or any integer, you can here put 12 also in place of this string. So if we see carefully, var1 is containing only one value, so we can also say that var1 has only one attribute, and that attribute is I am AngularJS. Then what is object? Object is little similar to variable definition, but object will contain more than one attribute as compared to var1. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about two types of object. First one is simple object, and second one is array object, or we can also say list object. So let us define our simple object. Simple obj equals to, object is defined in this way: opening one curly braces, closing one curly braces, and inside this we will define whatever attribute we want to define for the simple object. How that is defined is, there are two ways to define any single object. The first one is using simple key value pair, and the second one is using in the way of JSON. Both will be applicable because the first one is key value pair, that is also supported by JavaScript, and the second way is JSON object, that is also supported by JavaScript. The single simple way definition will also convert your key value pair into JSON object. We are commenting something, we are giving a comment, and for then you can use two simple slashes together, and that will give a comment. So right now I am defining simple object definition without JSON form. So in that what we do is, we put some attribute whatever we want to put, like name. This is the first attribute of simple object. Then one colon you will have to provide, and then the value. If integer, then no double quotes are required, and if it is a simple integer, then double quotes are required. So suppose I am putting I am name. Okay. Second one, we can second attribute, let us define subject, and again one string, or let's take one integer rather than taking strings every time. So I am putting 20. Always remember that when an object value variable will be the last variable, then there is no requirement of any comma or any colon or anything. That will be the final object of the simple object. The subject attribute will be, if it is the last attribute, then for ending it there is no requirement, no semicolon, no colon, no any variable. Now this is simple definition of object using simple values, key value pair. Now second way is to use JSON object. How JSON is defined? So for that you can use simple var2 and equals to, we can create object how to create object, one opening curly braces, one closing curly braces, and the attributes whatever we want to give. So let us take name1. In this way, in this form, you will have to write even key value as a string. Here we are writing key as normal variable. Here in JSON format, let me give name JSON format of object. So here you will have to define key also with string. Here only variable, but in this form you will have to write that also in string. So name1 I am JSON defined, and comma will be there, semicolon simply means end of the object, which is not here our case. We want to define one more variable, one more attribute, so we will put comma. Now again comma here we will put, and let's give subject1 attribute to this, and let's put some 25. So this is the way of defining objects in AngularJS with simple key value pair or second JSON key value pair. In JSON we put it as a string, in normal only name. Now how to access these objects on UI? We have defined our two objects. Now we want to access it on UI. So let us first go through the first object we have created, simple object, and this is var2 object. This is also object because it is containing multiple attributes. So we are accessing first. So for that we will simply, let's first put a message that the name of simple obj is, that is the name of simple object is, and to access that, to show first of all we use two opening and closing curly braces. Now we will write the name of the object dot attribute name whatever we are writing. Okay, so this will now go to controller. This will find which object is with name simple object, and then it will find the attribute for which we are printing that, and here the name is here, simple object is here. So simple object dot name will print this value. Now one br tag to print it in next line, and now let us print the subject. The subject of simple obj is again the name of the object, simple object dot subject. So this will go to again controller. This will find that what is the object with this name, he will find it here. Then it will go to dot subject, so simple object dot subject, and this will print this value. Now this was our first we were accessing our attributes of first object. Now let us go to var2 the second object, and let us print the value of the object. Okay, the attributes whatever we have defined. So the name1 of var2 is, and again we will show the value, and for showing again the two opening curly braces, var2 and closing curly braces, and the name of the attribute whatever we want to print. So dot control v, one br tag we will put, and again the second attribute of the second object, that is the subject1 of var2 is, and again we will show the value, that is var2 dot subject1. So I think you are understanding how the single object is created. We have not discussed about array object or list object. We will discuss that in next lecture. Here we are creating only one simple object in two ways, and we are printing the value. So now our representation for both the things are ready. Now we will run this and we will see what is the output. So finish this with server. Yes, now you can see that this is coming from first definition 20, and this is also coming from first object definition. This is attribute 1 of first object, and this is second attribute of the first object, and this is coming from second object. I am JSON defined, whatever we have defined here I am JSON defined, and subject 1, and it is an integer, so it is taking 25 here. So I hope you have understood this, that there are two ways of defining any object. And you know one thing what is happening, finally when you are using this now, Java script has that property that it will automatically convert this object even defined with simple annotation. It will first convert it into JSON of this format only finally. So finally when JavaScript will run this program, no, this object definition will be converted in this way only, that name will be like in double quote and subject will be in double quote. So I hope this lecture was very easy for you to understand. Please go through this, try to create some more objects by yourself, try to access the attributes of those objects by yourself, try to create some more fields here, try to create some more fields by yourself, and try to access them on UI. We are going to discuss more deeper about object and attributes in next lecture. See you till then. Bye bye.